Namaste everybody, and welcome to part 3 of How to Awaken Your Mind. If you remember, in part 2 I was talking about awareness, how we can build awareness in our daily lives, and part 2 I was talking about meditation. And I was suggesting that we do a formal meditation practice each morning for 10 to 20 minutes each morning. So in part 3 here, I want to carry on talking about awareness, but I want to talk about how we bring awareness into our daily lives now. So more of like an informal practice. And so this is mindfulness. A better word for mindfulness really is awareness. Because when we say mindfulness, it makes us think that it's about up here, and it's not just about up here, it's about the body as well, and it's about the immediate environment around us. So mindfulness means that we're in the present moment. So as I said before last week, that 47% of our day, roughly, we're not aware. So 47% of the day we're not being mindful because we're just working off our old habits and our unconscious mind. So when we're being mindful, it means that we're aware. We're thinking from our prefrontal cortex, which is our conscious thinking. It means we can make good choices, and we can think logically and realistically. A lot of the time, when we allow our minds to go shooting off to the future or back to the past, we're not thinking logically, and we're certainly not thinking realistically. So a lot of the time we have thoughts come into our head, and if we allow those thoughts to go, if we can catch them and allow those thoughts to go, then good. But we don't. A thought comes into our head, we just chase after it. So there's a story of a man standing on a road, and then these horses come galloping down the road, and the man is just holding on to this horse, and the man said, "Where are you going?" And I don't know, the horse is taking me. The horse here is our thoughts, and they just take us wherever they want to go. When that happens, usually we're taken off into the future, thinking about, or this might happen, or this won't happen. When we start thinking like this, building stories around this thought process, the mind is not able to tell the difference between what is a fact here and what is fantasy. So if you are thinking this, if you are building this story, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, your mind begins to believe it. Once that happens, then we become stressed and anxious and fearful. So it's at this time when our thoughts are taking us off into a direction where we don't really want to go into. When we realize that we're just being led by our thoughts, it's at that time we need to bring ourselves back to the present moment. And this is where mindfulness comes in. This is where we can use mindfulness practices to gently bring ourselves back into the present moment. It also happens when we worry about things that have happened in the past. Somebody said something to us, or something happened to us, and we all day long it keeps coming back into our mind. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did they say that? So we have these reoccurring thoughts. Again, once we start fixating on those thoughts, our mind can't think of anything else. Remember, what we think, we become. So if you're thinking that, oh, this is going to happen or this won't happen, that's what we're going to become. If we're thinking back and worrying, getting concerned about what did happen and why did they say that, that is what we're going to become. If you're thinking negative, you're going to become negative. If you're thinking positive, you're going to become positive. So it's at these times we need to be using mindfulness practices to bring ourselves into the present moment here. Now, there are many ways, many different types of mindfulness practice to bring ourselves into the present moment, but I'm just going to focus on 3 different ones here. These are 3 anchors that will keep us in the present moment. One is our breath, one our senses, and the other one the body. So why do we use these? We use these because all 3 of these are always in the present moment. You can only breathe now. You can't breathe for tomorrow, you can't breathe for yesterday. Our senses, we can only see, smell, taste, hear and touch. What is here now? What is around us now? And our bodies are always in the present moment. Our minds wander off, we know that. But the body doesn't. The body is always in the present moment. So these 3, your breath, your senses and your body, are always in the present moment. They're our anchor. So if you just think that your mind is a ship and the ship wanders off, floats off, and then we use these anchors to bring that ship back, bring the mind back to the present moment. So I'm going to teach you 3 practices that you can do here. There are many, many practices, so please investigate, look online, see what practices work for you. I'll just do some practices that I think are good, but try them out. Mindfulness means experiential. It doesn't mean that you sit and read lots of books about mindfulness from Thich Nhat Hanh or John Kabat-Zinn. It's not an intellectual exercise. You know, just because you've read 3 books on mindfulness doesn't mean you're a mindful person. You know, just because you've read 3 books on how to swim, if I threw you into the lake, you would drown, because we can't learn from just reading the books. They're experiential things, and mindfulness is experiential. So the first practice I'm going to talk about here is your breath. And what we're going to be doing is doing a practice called rhythmic breathing. So we're going to be breathing in through the nose to the count of 3, and then breathing back out through the nose to the count of 3, and getting a nice rhythm going there. Then we're going to go up to 4, and then 5 in, 5 out, and then finally 6 in and 6 out. So as we go, we're taking longer breaths and slowing that breathing down. At the end, I think first of all, let's do this practice so you've experienced it. And then I'll talk about the benefits of doing the practice and how the practice actually works. All you need to do now is just sit nice and comfortable and lightly close your eyes. Now, I'm not going to count for you. I'll invite you to count yourself. So get comfortable, close your eyes, and start by breathing in 1, 2, 3, and then breathing out 1, 2, 3, and just get a nice rhythm going there. And now breathe in for the count of 4 and breathe out for the count of 4, and get that rhythm going. And if your mind starts to wander, it's okay, don't worry. Just gently come back to the breath and start counting 4 in and and 4 out. And now count 5 in and 5 out. And each time you breathe out, just allow yourself to become relaxed. Allow your mind to calm down and settle. And now finally count 6 in and 6 out. Okay, so now just breathe normally and slowly open your eyes. So what we're doing here is that when we do a practice like that, now we're watching our breath. So like I said to you, the breath is in the present moment. So now we're watching the breath. Just by watching the breath going in and out, it brings us into the present moment. It takes us away from what anxiety and stress we were thinking, or what worries and concerns we were thinking about the past, and brings us nicely into the present moment. As we're breathing in with this rhythm, it starts to stimulate the hippocampus. So the hippocampus is the part of our brain we have memories and learning, so it means it makes us focused. And when we breathe out with this rhythm going and we breathe out, it activates our parasympathetic part of our central nervous system, which means it calms us down. So just by doing this rhythmic breathing, it's bringing you into the present moment. And I'll talk about what we should do when we're in the present moment a bit later on, but for now it brings you into the present moment, it makes you focused, calms you down. So all of these practices do exactly the same here. They all bring you into the present moment. So the next practices I want to look at are the senses. So we can use any of our senses. You know, if you're at home or at work and you have a raisin, it's just incredible to put that raisin in your mouth, just leave it there a moment, then just chew it a little bit, and then just sit there with your eyes closed and just feel the explosion of flavors in your mouth from that one raisin. You know what we usually do, take a handful of raisin, put them in our mouth and chew and swallow, and we don't get the full experience. You just put one in. So by putting one in your mouth, a raisin in your mouth, and just chewing and stopping and just feeling that explosion of the flavors, it's bringing you into the present moment. Again, we can only taste what's in the mouth now. We can't taste what was there earlier or what is going to be there. The same with smell. You can use your smell if you have a good sense of smell. You can notice, close your eyes, just notice how many different smells there are. You can touch things of different textures. So whatever is around you, touch different textured things. Just touch them and feel them, but don't, start building a story around them. We have to be careful when we do any of these practices, because we love to start building stories about, oh, this is good, and oh, that's not so good, and or I remember when I had a raisin before. So don't build stories, just focus on what you're experiencing. So you can touch things with different textures. You can look around your room and or wherever you are and look for all the things that are blue colour. And then after that, look around all the things that maybe are green colour. So pick nice colours like blue and green and yellows are good calming colours. Don't pick black or things like that because they're not so calming. So look around and just pick out different colours. Again, by focusing, not too long and not building stories, remember, we're just looking and seeing, oh, that's blue, or yeah, that's blue. It's bringing us into the present moment. The one that I want to do with you now is an easy one to do. It's one where we listen. So first of all, I want you to listen for two sounds that are very close to you. And then after that, we're going to listen for the sound, the furthest sound away you can hear. So at that point, we really have to concentrate, because we really have to, what is the furthest sound I can hear? And by concentrating and doing that, it's bringing you into the present moment. So you can use any of your senses, but we're going to have the hearing sense, okay? So just sit nice and comfortable again and lightly close your eyes. We need to close our eyes because our eyes are our most powerful sense here. So if we don't close them, it's difficult for us to focus on the sound. So just lightly close them and just listen for two sounds that are close to you. No need to label them that it's a dog or it's a motorbike. Just become aware of two sounds close to you. And now listen to the furthest sound away that you can hear. So really focus your hearing now for the furthest sound away that you can hear. Okay, so now just slowly open your eyes. Actually, I did this exercise for a group online the other day, and I was saying, listen for the furthest sound away you can hear. And this group was all from America. And then afterwards I asked them, what's the furthest sound you can hear? And somebody said they could hear me talking in India. So that's cheating. So all these sounds that you can hear, by listening to those sounds, listening for the sounds and the smells and the tastes and what you can see and what you can touch, by using your five senses like this, it again brings you into the present moment. It pulls you away from thinking about the future or thinking about the past. So I'm not saying that thinking about the future is wrong, but we shouldn't spend our whole day there. And I'm not saying memories are wrong, but we shouldn't spend our whole day there. There are times when we need to plan. So plan and come back to the present moment. There are times when we need to think, what happened then? Or we have time to reminisce. So then look back at those times, but then come back to the present moment. The final exercise I want to do with you today is about using your body. So we forget our bodies. You know, I just said to you at the beginning that mindfulness is probably the wrong word, because mind, it makes us think it's about all up here, which it isn't. I mean, it is about the body as well. But at school and college and everywhere we go, it's all about what we can cram in here. But by doing that, we're missing out a large part of information. You know, up here then billions of neurons are firing, and that's what's making us think and do actions and emotions and perceptions. But we also have like 100,000 neurons in our gut as well. Now, okay, they're not conscious, they're not thinking, they're feeling. they sense. But sometimes, you know, we use the word gut feeling, because sometimes these can sense long before this ticking over here, thinking, trying to think logically. This is already said, I don't think this is a good idea. So logically we don't know why, but we have a sense that, you know, something isn't quite right here, I shouldn't do it, or I should do it. And also, you know, in our heart, there are something like 45,000 neurons firing in the center of our heart. So even that has a little brain. So even that has a story to tell. And the interesting thing about the heart is that there are more signals sent from the heart to the brain than go from the brain down to the heart. That fascinates me, that. So what I'm saying here is that don't spend your whole time up here, particularly if you have some really, you have a dilemma, or you have a problem that, you know, really needs a lot of thought, or maybe you've come to a fork in the road and you don't know which one to take. Don't just think here. What is your gut telling you? What is your heart telling you? Put them all together, then you have complete awareness there. You have your gut saying something, your heart and your head, and you can make a good choice then. So don't forget about the body. The body can tell you so much more than what we're allowing it to. Remember, every emotion we have, there's a sense somewhere in the body. But of course, we don't know it because we just totally spend our time up here. So in this practice, what we're going to do is we're going to look at different parts of the body, and we're just going to see, are there any sensations there? Now, actually, there are sensations all over our body, but some of them are so subtle that we just can't, at the moment, you know, unless we've trained ourselves and done lots of body scan meditations, we can miss them. But it doesn't matter, because all I want you to do is just focus. Are there sensations there? If there are, just observe them. If there are no sensations there, it's okay. Just observe them. So all we're doing is observing. So it's like, this is my body, this is me, and I'm looking down at my body. I'm just observing it. Don't build stories again that, oh, I like this sensation, oh, I don't like this sensation, or don't try to criticize it, analyze it, change it. All we're doing is observing there are sensations or there are no sensations. That's all we're doing. And by focusing our awareness on different parts of our body and on the sensations, we're bringing ourselves back into the present moment. I have to say that if I have the time, this is the practice that I like to do, because I find personally it's quite relaxing as well. So sit comfortably where you are. And one moment, I just want to take a drink. So sit comfortably where you are and lightly close your eyes. And to begin with, I just want you to focus on the rising and falling of the breath. So as you breathe in, maybe you become aware of your stomach rising. And as you breathe out, you become aware of the stomach falling. So just try to leave your awareness on that for a moment. And when your mind wanders, just bring it back and watch the rising and falling. And don't change your breath here. Just breathe nice and naturally. Your body knows how to breathe. So no need to put any effort in here. Just allow it to breathe. And now move your awareness down to your feet and just observe, are there sensations in your feet? Or are there no sensations? And now move your awareness to your legs. And your lower back. Your upper back. And now gently move your awareness to your hands. Your arms. Your neck and shoulders. Your head. Your face. Your chest. Your heart. And your stomach. And now very slowly start to open your eyes. So, it all depends on how much time you have. So, you can make that a lot longer or you can make it a little bit shorter. But don't spend too much time on each area. If we do, we become a little fixated with that area and then it's difficult for us to move on. So try to keep it flowing nicely. So these are just some practices using your breath, and there are many, many different mindfulness practices where you use your breath. I like the rhythmic breathing, but you can look online for many others, or go to my website and my YouTube channel and you'll see many different practices there. The senses one is more of a quicker one for us to do. Maybe we're at work and we don't have a lot of time. And the body scan is most definitely, for me, the best one. So all of those bring you into the present moment. So what I'm going to do in part 4 is I'm going to talk about, now, what do we do when we come into the present moment? So you can see a lot of things on the internet about this modern mindfulness movement where they say, come into the present moment and don't be judgmental. But, if you're bringing yourself into the present moment and, you're looking around and the way you've been behaving wasn't really skillful or helpful, then of course, you know, we need to judge that so we can change it. So when I come back in part 4, I'm going to be talking about the aware practice, and I'm also going to be talking about a reflection practice that we can do at the end of the day. And then that is your whole package of your daily awareness, starting with formal meditation, watching the breath in the morning, being mindful throughout the day, and finishing your day with a reflection practice. So thank you so much for joining me in this part 3. If you have any questions, then please put them in the comment box wherever you find this video, and I will get round to answering them. So I look forward to seeing you all again in part 4. So thank you so much. Namaste.